Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome this last Shabbat of the month of September and the last Shabbat of the year 5784. Susie will lead our service this evening, beginning with Ma Yafeh Hayom, how beautiful is this day.
Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
We'll continue as we light the Shabbat candles and bless the fruit of the vine on pages 2 and 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uv'ratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava uv'ratzon hinchalatanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha'shabbat. L'chaim. Continue on pages 20 and 21 with Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat likabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat likabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat likabela. Lecha Shabbat Kabbalah. Likrat Shabbat Lechuvnecha, Ki himkor habracha, Meirosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh shem b'machshava tehila. Lechaduti likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Lechaduti likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Hitoreri, hitoreri, Ki ba'orech kumi ori, uri, uri, shir daberi. Kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lechaduti, lechaduti likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Lechaduti likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah.
Please rise for verse 9.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam v'simcha u'b'tzvola, Tov emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala, lechaduti likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Lechaduti likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah.
Page 26, Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. V'yalma divrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei. Becha hayechon uvyomechon uvechaye dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala, ba'agala, uvizman kari v'imeru. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach, le'alam u'le'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudesha richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata nechemata ta'amiran v'alma v'imeru. Amen. Page 28, Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Let's read together at the top of page 33. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Pages 34 and 35, Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchut.
please be seated. Let's read together on page 37. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave me at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all mitzvot, so that you can be holy for your God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. Page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Page 40, Michamocha.
Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, Nora tehilot, osef elef. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, Nora tehilot, osef elef. And the river is wide, and the river is deep, and the river is standing between you and me, and freedom, freedom, we shall overcome one day. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, Nora tehilot, osef elef. And the river is fear, and the river is hate, and the river is standing between us and the gates of freedom, freedom. We shall overcome one day. With a tambourine and a mighty hand, across the sea and the desert sand, let the children sing for Miriam, next year in the promised land, next year in the promised land, next year in the promised land, next year in Jerusalem. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, Nora tehilot, osef elef. And the river divides
Page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 44.
Shamru Bnei Yisrael V'shamru et HaShabbat Lasod et HaShabbat Lasod et HaShabbat The Dorotam Berid Olam Beini Uvein Bnei Yisrael Ud Hi Leolam Lasod et HaShabbat Lasod et HaShabbat Lasod et HaShabbat Leolam Ki Sheshet Yamim Asa Adonai Et hashamayim ve'et haaretz uvayom hashvi'i uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash.
Page 46. Please rise for tefillah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid HaTahal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Oholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamo Chabal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lahachayot hakol. Baruch ata Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelucha selah. Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Page 57. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Let's read together at the top of page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Pause for a few moments of quiet reflection, followed by Yehiyu L'Ratzon, at the middle of page 62. Page 253. We think of all who are in need of healing of body and spirit. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. This Shabbat, we think especially of the following people: Bob Barnett, Alan Brockman, Yvonne Burkhart, Mike Carbone, Esther Hulda Sarah, Valerie Frank, Alex Goldstein, Clara Gilliams, Wendy Haber, Jillian Hartman, Elizabeth Hyder, Ethan Kadish, Nathan Kinnock, Tyler Kinnock, Kristen Kinnock, Melissa Kotler, Kate Lane, Richard Lehrer, Martin Levin, Jody Lokshin, Judine Luntz, David Poole, Carol Rubin, Rob Schweitzer, Mark Sirak, Sharon Smith, Kristen Spetich, Kelly Swab, Barbara Turkeltaub, Kristen Turner, David Waltz, Malka Wayne, Florence Weaver, and Bruce White. If you have other names that you would like to share for the prayer for healing, I invite you to share those now.
Leo Goron,
page 259. Please rise for the prayer for the state of Israel, followed by Hatikvah. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'go alo. Barech, Barech, et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulateinu. Hagein Aleha be'evrat chasadecha, Ufaros aleha sukat shalomecha. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'go alo. Please be seated. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Showing up and being counted matters. We know that numbers are important in Judaism because we have a whole book called the Book of Numbers. That's not the name in Hebrew, but it has come down to us in the English translation because of the various censuses that are conducted in that book of the Torah. Showing up and being counted matters, because if you don't show up, you don't count. If you are needed for a minyan and you don't show up, there's not a minyan. If you're needed to come push a car out of a ditch and there's supposed to be 4 of you and there's only 3, everybody else has to do even more work. Showing up and being counted matters. Schools take attendance very seriously. If you don't show up, you get dinged, and then eventually the parents get called, and then eventually the system gets involved. If you don't show up for work, you don't get paid, and so on. Showing up and being counted matters. Our Torah portion this week is a double portion, Nitzavim Vayelech, and it begins with this famous phrase, "You stand this day, all of you, before Adonai your God." You stand this day, all of you. And then it continues. What does this mean, all of you? Your tribal heads, your elders, your officials, every householder in Israel, your children, your spouses, even the stranger within your midst, from the one who cuts your wood to the one who draws your water. You all stand here this day to enter into the eternal covenant with Adonai your God, that God is making with you this day, with all of its laws and sanctions, in order to establish you, children of Israel, this day as God's people, and in order for God to be your God, as promised you and as sworn to your parents Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The text continues, I make this covenant with its sanctions, not with you alone, people assembled before me, but with those who are standing here with us this day before God and those who are not here with us this day. So we counted and we mattered even if we weren't there, because others entered us into the covenant on our behalf. That kulchem, all of you, includes all of us. And it included that generation in the wilderness, regardless of the person's station or status, regardless of age or gender. In order for God to be magnified, the people then and people now need to be involved with God in covenant. Because when we are shut out, we cease to matter. When we stop showing up and people don't miss us, then we cease to matter. Now, certainly the Torah did not know about representative democracy or constitutional republics. So anyone trying to read a Bill of Rights into the Torah would do well to remember that this was a world in which your slave could have the ear nailed to the doorpost of the house, and that's not exactly the kind of world in which we want to live anymore. I don't know that it's the kind of world that people wanted to live in then either. It's the kind of world where you could be stoned for violating the Sabbath. Now people get stoned and violate the Sabbath in one fell swoop. We can't find American representative democracy or a constitutional republic within the Torah scroll. It's anachronistic. But we can find some of the antecedents of our democracy and our republic in there, and we're able to ground ourselves as Americans and as Jews in both that Jewish world and the American world of civics in order to know what is right and what is wrong. The wall that Thomas Jefferson described between church and state is only supposed to go one way. The state cannot establish a religion, but it would be impossible for people of faith to separate their faith from their vote. We're not allowed, or at least we're not supposed to, and I follow this, we don't talk about candidates. We talk about issues in places of worship because the issues matter, and showing up and being counted for issues matters. Representation and fairness in the Torah mattered, that's why we were all there, and representation and fairness matter today. And rigging a system to capture power without regard to fairness was wrong in the Torah, and it's wrong in the United States of America. Kulchem, all of you, stood before God and the covenant. All of us stood with each other and every generation that came before us and every generation that will come after us because we matter. And to be erased because someone is grabbing power, whether that person is one of the tribal heads, one of the elders, one of the water drawers, one of the wood choppers, or anyone in between, is unfair and unjust. The Torah does not know the word gerrymandering because Elder Jerry did not live in ancient Israel. But we know what gerrymandering is and that it is wrong. And we are living with its consequences in Ohio. So here are 3 simple reasons why gerrymandering is bad for democracy from the Torah. First, gerrymandered districts let representatives pick their voters instead of the other way around. It is the equivalent of shooting an arrow and then drawing a bullseye around it. And guess who always wins the target? The one in power who created the maps. It takes away the right of people to pick representatives and allows representatives to pick their people. That is not how democracy is supposed to work. And that makes it impossible for everyone, from the water drawer to the wood chopper, from the chieftain to the elder, to have his or her vote count equally. Secondly, gerrymandering means that elected officials cannot be held accountable because gerrymandered districts guarantee that the party in power is going to win even when that party goes against the will of the people. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It means that people in power cannot be held accountable. And that is not Jewish. The kings of ancient Israel were to be held accountable. Kings of ancient Israel, supreme monarchs, anointed by prophets, ruling by divine right, were still accountable. And they had to have a copy of the Torah by their side at all times. And the third reason is that it steals voter power. And rigged districts dilute the voting power of groups who oppose whatever party might be in power by spreading out those voters or by putting groups into just 1 or 2 districts when those people should be represented more equally. Think again of the analogy of shooting the arrow and then drawing the bullseye. That's not how government is supposed to work. So in a few weeks, on November 5th, Ohioans are going to go to the ballot, go to the polls, and vote. And the wording on issue 1 is deliberately confusing. The wording obscures the truth. So put simply, issue 1 will do 4 things. It will create a 15-member Ohio Citizens Redistricting Commission made up of equal numbers of Democratic, Republican, and independent citizens who very broadly represent different geographic and demographic areas of the state. Democracy. Second, it will ban current or former politicians, current or former political party officials, and lobbyists from sitting on that commission. If you are the one holding the arrow, you should not be the one drawing the bullseye. And if you are the one drawing the bullseye, then you should be kept as far away from the quiver of arrows as possible. Third, issue 1 requires fair and impartial districts by making it unconstitutional to draw voting districts that discriminate against or favor any political party or individual politician. This is justice. Tzedek, tzedek tirdof, as we will sing at the conclusion of our service. Justice, justice shall you pursue. Justice when it is in your favor, and justice when it is not in your favor. Faith in a system means the officials have to have faith in that system as well, and that faith must be placed in the voter and not in the one who is voted in. Politicians were not originally intended to be in their positions for life. And that is what has happened because politicians in gerrymandered states get to choose their voters. And what that means, if you agree with the party in power, enjoy it, because it won't last forever. The pendulum swings, and as convinced as you might be that your party is right, guess what? 48% of the people disagree with you. Our elections are so close, even with the gerrymander. Imagine how much closer they might be if they adequately represented the voting population. And the fourth thing is that the issue 1 will require this commission to operate under an open and independent process. I understand why people don't trust politicians. I don't trust politicians. I'm not a politician. I trust a system, but a system is made up of imperfect people. Just as Jews interpret Torah, and sometimes we get it wrong, sometimes politicians get it wrong as well. And who are we to blame when our politicians get it wrong if we keep putting them back in power? Well, it's very easy to say we do have term limits. They're called elections. That's wonderful in theory. If the election is rigged from the beginning by a gerrymandered district, then it's not fair. And gerrymandering does not affect every election. Senate votes are not gerrymandered because it's statewide office. Supreme Court justices in Ohio, gerrymandering doesn't matter. School boards doesn't matter when it comes to gerrymandering, but congressional districts and state legislative districts matter. Does anyone know what Ohio's motto is? What is Ohio's motto? It's not O-H-I-O. With God, all things are possible. Indeed, with God, all things are possible. And Ohioans have a responsibility to each other to ensure that politicians seeking to disrupt fair representation do not make the possible impossible. With our collective votes, democracy can again be the guiding principle of this great state. Temple Israel partners with the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism, and particularly its Ohio office of the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism, not to advocate for candidates, but to advocate for issues. And I hope that you will read carefully Issue 1 and determine for yourself if you agree with my interpretation of these texts. I will never tell you for whom you should vote. I will give you advice on what I think Jewish wisdom teaches about issues, but each of our votes is sacred, and I value your vote as much as I do mine, even if we disagree with each other, because that is democracy. Once upon a time, Jewish people who knew nothing of constitutional republics stood at the foot of a mountain and voted by showing up, by entering a covenant. And once again, we are at the foot of a mountain, and we are in covenant not only with God, through whom all things are possible, but we are in covenant with the rest of Ohio, especially with other Ohio voters with whom we disagree politically. If we who are in the majority trounce the rights of the minority, then when we are in the minority, we have not a leg to stand on to argue our cause. We do what is right because it is right, not because it is popular, and certainly not because it is easy, and never just because it is possible. Power grabbed at any cost is worthless. Power achieved democratically is legitimate, and it upholds a faithful system of laws. So, do your part, vote, and by voting, you will ensure that with God and with you, all things do remain possible. Shabbat Shalom. Here's someone who was not elected in a gerrymandered election. She made the mistake of showing up for the covenant.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Susie, for leading our music. Stolen Moments Torah Study will meet tomorrow online and in person at 10 a.m. The High Holidays begin tomorrow night with Slick Coat at 8 o'clock. Even though next week is the first Friday of the month, we will not be doing Kiddush Shabbat. It will be Shabbat Shuvah, when we honor couples celebrating 50-plus years of marriage. Kiddush Shabbat will be the third Friday of October. Shabbat Shalom.
So do join us next week for Shabbat Shuvah, where the service will be preceded by an Oneg Shabbat sponsored by, where they go, sponsored by the Bertmans in memory of Lisa. And I wonder why we're not having Kiddush Shabbat on the second Friday in October. What's happening the second Friday night in October? Yom Kippur. How much fun would that be? Kids, don't eat. Just stand over here and make a craft and watch your parents get angry and hangry and hangry. So the next week, Shabbat Shuvah, following week, Kol Nidre, and the week after that, Kiddush Shabbat. We continue on page 282. Page 282. We'll open the Ark for Aleinu L'Shabeach and take a last look at the Torah in their year-round garb before we change the covers tomorrow. Aleinu L'Shabeach La'adon HaKol Lateit Gedula Liotzer Bereshit Shelo Asanu Kigoye Ha'aratzot ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו page 294. This Shabbat we commemorate the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths of the following people: Dr. Samuel J. Feingold, Ray Fettman, Sarah Gordon, Robert Victor Haas, Sarah L. Hirshheimer, Lillian Nell, Harry Kotler, Joseph Lassie, Meyer Mannheim, Sally Berkman Miller, Jack Rosenstock, Alex Rosenthal, Arnold Rubin, Sylvia Sachs, Bessie Solomon, Minnie Shaner, Bertha Schlackett, Kathy Schnabel, Julia Stone, Solwig Wiener, Carmen A. Zembrello. And we remember one who died more recently, Jerry Spitzer. I apologize if I mispronounced any of your loved ones' names, and invite you to share now additional names or corrected pronunciations.
Patricia Moron.
Thank you. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Bi'alma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'le'amei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom v'mromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen.
We have a different kind of challah. It's the pull-apart challah that's already pre-pulled apart, which is better than already been chewed food. This has not yet been chewed, but you're welcome to it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. On the theme of justice and righteousness, I invite you on our way out to take a pamphlet that describes more about issue 1. If you would like to share with your neighbors, please take more than one. And we will close with our congregation's own call for justice: do justly.
Do justly,
Justly,
love mercy,
love mercy,
walk humbly,
walk humbly,
with Adonai. Do justly.
love mercy.
Walk humbly with Adonai. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdo. For every man and woman and every boy and girl. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdo. Whoever saves one life saves the world. Do justly, love mercy, walk humbly with Adonai. Do justly, love mercy, walk humbly with Adonai. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdo. For all who are forgotten, for all who are in need. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdo. With peace and love and freedom for all humanity. Do justly, love mercy, walk humbly with Adonai. Do justly, love mercy, walk humbly with Adonai. Justly, mercy, humbly with Adonai. Justly, mercy, humbly with Adonai. Do justly, love mercy, walk humbly with Adonai.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's light shine on you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's presence forever be lifted towards you, and may you be blessed with the gift of shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you. It's the book that we, same book. Well, I know I have it. I just want to make sure it's the same one. Okay.
They're different.
The pull apart. Oh, they're like little. Oh, it, yeah.
I think that's what they are. Yeah, really.
Thank you. I thought you were going to say it brings you back to your station wagon. What? Back to your station wagon.
Yeah, right.
When I would sing in the back of the station wagon.
Yes. Yes. That was funny. All of you guys singing. She was always singing. Yes.
Happy
Yes.
holidays.
Right after the holidays.
That's what Papa's doing. Well, that's nice. She's. Can you stop at Kent too for me? Can you stop at Kent?
Kent State.
Kent State. Oh. Oh, you're just straight line.
That was a little piece, but a big piece. One little piece. Excuse me? Oh, yeah. We have to pick up Zohar.
Shabbat Shalom, workers.
Today.
Got a double header with Susan tomorrow night also.
Yeah.
I could explain everything.
I can't spill anything on it. I'm also trying to gain height. I stretch and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a bat. I like to call them the roses of the skies.
Yeah. They are.
This is how from where? He went, it was a round hollow. It's a pole round hollow, which will make it. It's on it's really good. Yeah, it's just
Is this somebody's umbrella?
it's great. It's not, it's very cool.
Did you guys have an umbrella?
It might have been.
Sherry. Sherry, thank you, Rabbi. Judy forgot her purse, but she took the purse and went to the car. And she's a lot younger than she was.
But just like when Eagle has more places, 30th Street.
Yeah, you know, let me put it back together. These podiums are gonna go up.
Oh. Oh wait, I have it in my hand. Never mind. I can put it up.
If you want to go out that way, do you have anything back here?
No.
Thank you. Coming tomorrow night?
What's the more?
Not to consider the constitution.
Now, do you do your talks on the Jewish movement on Zoom or is it on temporary?
It's but I don't, it's not on the stream, but if you go to our website, you go to the learning time application, the recordings are there. Recordings of the class.
I enjoy it on here.
portions call it is, oh my gosh, I could eat the whole thing. Yeah, it's really good.
Gonna have to have a
Yeah.
little taste.
It's really good, yeah, it's really good.
Good endorsement.
It's
All right, Susie, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Go home without throwing hands.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This is called a pull apart hog. I've never had it before. We had a program here Monday night, we had a dinner, and then I picked this up in Cleveland. And so I wanted to use it since it was, part of this. And in my office, if you want, there is a blue Johnny go bag from the county for you, if you would like. All right? Pull apart hog.
Oh, you have the address, Karen? The address of the Milky Way.
Yep, that's where he got it. That is a kosher, I don't know if it's a grocery store or a deli in Cleveland. That's where he got everything.
Very good.
Yeah, you're welcome.